Oh, yeah. We've got that trademark, Harry. I don't know anybody else doing that.
Yeah.
We got that one trademarked.
Oh,
yeah. I mean, there's the good, nobody's going to say that, right? Like,
yeah.
that's
Nice to have you with us.
Yeah,
that's what he does now.
And?
No, not him. Mad Dog.
Oh,
I thought you were going Mad Dog on
No,
me.
well, there were two. There are two goods, right? Like, there's the Ants is the same. Good. Like, it's one, it's one, right?
Yeah.
But no, I don't even know if he does that anymore because he's not technically mornings. But you're right. Dog would lead up to it.
Right. Good afternoon, everybody. That's what he used to do. But now he's changed it into this really disturbing, nice to have you with us. It's so bad. It's so bad. You got
to fill 5 hours,
Right.
You can't come out the gate and just blow everything.
Only 3 hours now.
All right.
He's 3 to 6.
Heavily redacted. All right. So let's look at last night. Didn't go some good, some bad for me. Shout out to Harry because not only did the McCaffrey thing, and I'll let you brag on that one, but I was able to push that up actually in a couple and get 5+ at good money. The good for me, the teaser that I have with Baltimore +9, Seattle +10, Philly -2.5, that's still alive. Seattle first half cashed, so that was good. I was disappointed. Look, I ultimately was disappointed in the Geno Smith 2+ passing touchdowns. I was really disappointed that hit. And then, ultimately at the end of the day here, there was this game itself. Like, I'm still not convinced that if the Eagles played San Francisco with Brock Purdy, that I should be concerned. I'm still not convinced about that.
Well, I mean, with Deebo Samuel, I think you should be somewhat concerned.
I'd agree. I think Deebo is probably the main kind of weapon that they use. But last night, I'd have to agree with Eitan in the fact that they seemed almost very predictable last night in the way that they were running that offense. Like, once you saw Seattle gain some type of tempo, you kind of knew. You're like, all right, well, here goes Christian McCaffrey, another 4 dump offs, 4 screen plays coming right out on this next drive. So I kind of understand where he's coming from, and I somewhat feel that same way. If it's Brock Purdy, I'm really just not that intimidated unless he has everybody on that 49ers team with him.
Well, I'm looking at the other side of the ball mostly with what San Francisco can do defensively. I mean, there was no big plays last night for Seattle outside of Kenneth Walker III with that 33-yard catch and run. I mean, they got nothing down the field. And, you start looking at what they might be able to do to contain the Eagles' offense, and make this a close game in the fourth quarter. I don't know, man. I'm starting to buy in on this San Francisco.
They need so many things, right, to go right, I think, when you're playing against a better defense, right, overall. That's like Seattle, and to Matt's point, Seattle was so bad coming into this game stopping the run. And it's almost like if you don't run Christian McCaffrey, if you don't get the ball to McCaffrey, like those passes right out of the backfield to McCaffrey, and that's what you brought up.
They're like runs.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Yeah. So, like, I don't want to take anything away, and I'm sure it sounds like I am, but it was, I don't know, maybe Seattle, maybe the bubble burst. Maybe that's what it is. And look, I mean, I was on 3.5, and I thought that was the right side. I was disappointed. I had this 3 leg.
I had it too.
Yeah. And look, to have under 51 with Christian McCaffrey 5+ grabs and Seattle +7.5, and to lose that because you're down by 0.5 point, it's life. It's life.
Yeah.
What can you say? All right. We do have a lot, though, looking at the NFL this weekend, and I'm curious to see what you're doing with the Philadelphia Eagles as of right now, because I'm in on 2 separate teasers, and the big thing for me, fellas, was that I just wanted to get below 3. That was the only thing I wanted with Philadelphia, is because it's the road, because it's the NFL, because of the Colts game, which screwed everybody's teaser outside of 1, right? Like, I don't trust anything below or above 3. So I've got that Baltimore, Seattle +10, Philly -2.5. I have Philly -2, Kansas City -7. I don't know what to do yet. I'm going to look, maybe see what's going on with Justin Fields, but player props, I imagine you could target both Miles Sanders rushing and Devontae Smith receiving again at this point.
Yeah, I was looking right back to Devontae Smith, truthfully. Even if it wasn't yardage in this case, receptions as well. I think that him and Jalen Hurts have way more of a connection than they've been seeing in the first few weeks. And I think now he kind of trusts him a lot more in that number 2 role to be AJ Brown's backup guy. Obviously he's always looking AJ's side first, and I think other teams are starting to realize that. So he's giving more trust to Devontae Smith, and it's worked out the past couple weeks. And I'm looking Devontae both receptions and yardage as well.
Yeah, there's no way that I'm laying 9.5, 10 points on the road. Because I just think that this could be one of these games where the Eagles just do enough to get by to win the game, but don't necessarily, step on their throat and destroy them. You know what I mean? Like, you could easily see, like, you're looking at the rosters, like, well, the Eagles should, blow these guys out. But it's the NFL, like you said at Eitan. This is the NFL is a weird league. I'm not taking anything on the side. The only thing I would do is I'd tease the Eagles down, like you're looking at. That's something I might get involved in. You're talking about what, Devontae Smith in reception yards? It's 56.5 right now on DraftKings, and the receptions is 4.5.
I'm seeing a plus money over 4.5 right now on Barstool for plus
105. Okay. You got 108. Okay, good.
I like plus money for his receptions. 4.5 might be a little bit high. So I do like overall as a lock the yardage for sure.
Okay.
Yeah, I would rather go yardage too, only because 3 catches you can clear that.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
And then if you're up, it's tough. It's really tough. Now you're in NBA blowout mode where you've got 3 catches for 68 yards, but you're up by 21 points.
Right. You're not throwing the ball.
Yeah, exactly. And you're definitely not throwing to Devontae as far as now, again, maybe quick stuff, but you're right. You're probably not running the ball at all. It's one, though. I think receiving yards and rushing yards for Miles Sanders is going to be one that I'm definitely going to look at here.
68.5 rushing yards for Sanders.
Yep.
Yeah, I could definitely go over that.
Yeah, I like that. All right. So let's begin here on anything that changed from Wednesday, because I got a bunch. All right. So let's start. Detroit, mind you, Detroit hasn't lost a first half since the bye week. So I got in minus 105 money line to win the first half for Detroit against the Jets. I know it's a road game, et cetera, but got in there. That's one to look at. Another one here, the Indianapolis Colts. Now, wherever side you're on, I'm on Minnesota. Again, I understand that I'm betting a favorite here, but I'm going to lay the 4. I'm also going under 21.5 team total for the Colts. Matt, even if they win this game, it's not going to be as a result of Matt Ryan's doing. It's going to be more so the defense. And then I got a bunch. So I've tried some shit out this week. All right. I've got 4 different games where I've adjusted some spread, and it's just 2-leg same game parlays. All right. So I'm back in the lab. I'm going to save that for a sec because I know you guys got some NFL stuff too.
All right, Harry.
Well, the teaser that I'm on is the Raiders and the Lions. Lions are now at +2. So you take that up to +8, and the Raiders from +1 to +7. I like those. I like those underdogs in a teaser. I just took the Ravens at +3 because Huntley is going to play. He was not practicing earlier in the week. There was some doubt, but he's going to play. And I kind of like him as a quarterback. I think he throws a better football than Lamar Jackson does, believe it or not. He's not a better quarterback, but he throws a better ball, a more catchable football. So I think the Ravens on the road. What is the money line on that now that I look at it?
I was actually looking for them to cover the first half. The first half is only sitting. They're at +1.5. And I was thinking, they could even go up a field goal early and then cover that for us first half. So I like that. And the money line's coming at
+125 or 132. Okay.
I like that value for sure.
I like the Ravens.
I like that a lot. Anything you can get at 3. The Ravens and the Steelers, I think, are really good +3 options to tease this week. By the way, I love Baltimore. I think you're dead on with Huntley. We've talked about that. It's actually down. Some places it might even be down to 2.5. So if you can, and because I think, like Harry said, anybody paying attention knows that there's not any drop off, at least this year, between Lamar Jackson and Huntley in the air.
In the air, yeah.
In the air.
Not as a total package.
No.
I don't want anybody saying, you said he's a better quarterback than Lamar Jackson. No, I didn't say that. I didn't say that.
Adding on, I was looking right now. We had mentioned the Steelers a little bit, and the Panthers this week, for some reason, are coming in as a favorite in that game. When the Steelers are still playing somewhat competitive football in these games, I believe they're going to be going not with Mitch Trubisky anymore after the whole Deontay Johnson situation. But I really think that at +3, I feel comfortable against Carolina. I just don't trust anybody on that Panthers team to really hold up any type of consistency after last week. So I'm rocking with the Steelers at +3, and I'm even intrigued by the +126 money line as well.
Are the Steelers out on their third quarterback? Is it Mason Rudolph going to get the start this week?
I believe so.
Wow. Yeah.
Honestly, he's not horrific in the replacement times that we've seen him come in for them. So,
you're right, and I think that's probably the best angle here.
Basically, what you're saying is Sam Darnold can't win 3 games in a row.
I would bet on that.
Yeah, he's seeing ghosts again. I just wouldn't doubt it.
No, I mean, there's some pretty good stuff here that works in Pittsburgh's favor. Just overall, let me find it real quick.
Well, like trends or something?
Yeah, and also just the fact that Carolina, if you look at it, they have an outside shot to win their division.
Yeah.
But Pittsburgh has allowed 4 of their last 5 opponents to 17 or less points. You add that with the fact that if it's not Kenny Pickett, which we know it's not Kenny Pickett, right? Or we believe it's not to be Kenny Pickett, either of those other guys can at least throw the football. They can't throw it well, and arguably they can't even throw it better than Pickett, but at least there's some confidence in the offense. Like, you're not going from Lamar Jackson to Anthony Brown, is my point.
And I feel like there's some familiarity with Mike Tomlin in this case and Rudolph, to where they can actually somewhat game plan now that he's had him under his wing for a few seasons. I don't know. I believe there's
Rudolph
history.
knows what's going on. I mean, to be honest with you, the only guy you really have to worry about for Pittsburgh is Matt Canada, their
offensive coordinator.
He's got the implosion button ready to push at any point. But
that's why I might lean under there if I had to make a play on that game. 37.5.
So let me hit you with a couple of things here. By the way, for the first time ever on the show, we are going to break out college football player props. All right.
Oh, my.
Yes.
Oh, man.
Yes.
Wow.
Yes. Now, I've got 4 of these. All right. Let's start with Pittsburgh, because you talked about that. Now, I moved Pittsburgh to +7.5, and I combined that under 41.5. All right. So that is a +110 bet that comes back. So Pittsburgh +7.5, under 41.5. Same game parlay is +125.
Wow, I love that. Actually, I really like that a ton.
Okay, Harry, you didn't expect to hear that, did you?
No, I did not.
You thought this would be some crazy, Dr. Zhivago shit.
Value-wise, no, that sounds fantastic.
So give me that again.
Pittsburgh.
This is the Steelers?
Yes, Steelers +7.5.
Okay.
And I same game parlay that with under 41.5.
Okay.
Now, the mentality here is that the only 2 totals that matter are 41 and 51. So if I'm going to be over or under either one of those, I want to be on the hook side. And again, I'm manipulating these. So that was the first one. All right. Second one is a game we just talked about. Baltimore +7.5, under 41.5.
I like that.
That gets me also at +110. All right.
Okay.
Another one here. Atlanta +7.5, over 40.5. So I'm on the right side of 41. I think this is an over game, to be honest with you. So that's why I pushed it. That's +160.
I was looking at Atlanta, and I'm just scared to bet on them anymore. I think it was like 2-something weeks ago. We came in and we were like, oh, they have playoff aspirations. We feel like they're going to compete in some of these games. And I don't know, the whole Marcus Mariota, they're sitting him. He's not even there anymore. He's not showing up. His key card's locking him out of the facility. But
yeah, rightfully so. Look, Desmond Ridder, you guys watch college. Harry watched way more college.
I don't know that there's that much of a drop-off except for experience. That's it.
And probably running the football at least to an extent. But look, this is exactly what we just talked about in Baltimore. Yeah. There really isn't a dip at all when it comes to throwing the football. So I think there's an advantage here to get in on Atlanta. I pushed it to 7.5. And then again, I like the over. I think you're going to get points here. Last one, and it's in division, so let's talk about it. New York Giants +7.5, under 41.5 in this total.
I like that too. That's going to be a slugfest.
that's plus 165.
Wow.
Because the total is,
Well, I think that's a 20 to 17 type of football game. It typically is, right?
Yeah.
It is.
Yeah.
No, I like it for sure. It's going to be a worm burner type of situation where I think it's going to come down ultimately to one of these kickers. So I like it for sure. For the plus money value on these, I definitely am.
Not bad. You're manipulating.
No, that's good.
And I think the big thing is, don't look at it like you're teasing totals. Don't look at it like you're doing anything but you're centering a game around 41 and 51. So if you like a game to get to 51 or 41, that's where you get these totals. Because if you have a total at 44 and a half, and you're moving the spread in your favor, dropping it 3 points doesn't mean anything in the grand scheme of things from a total standpoint, but it's going to get you plus 120 or something back from a value standpoint. So that's why teasing totals rarely works, is because you don't really gain much by 2 or 3 points, etc. Real quick on this Giants game, Daniel Jones 6-0 against the spread with a 10-3 TD to interception ratio against Washington career. Now, check this out. He's 5-14 straight up as a road underdog in his career. You know what he is against the spread?
Oh, what?
Take a guess.
He's 5-14 straight up.
Yeah, and this is a trick question. This is as a road dog career, 5-14 straight up.
Truthfully, I remember a lot of backdoor covers coming on some of these, so I think it could be something good.
Just basically flip it. Flip it.
Really? 14-5?
Yes.
Wow.
Right. So you've got a career 6-0 ATS against a team that you're also 14-5 ATS. I'll leave you with this. Head-to-head games between Jones and Heineke. The scores have been Washington 30-29 with the tie involved, right? So you basically, with these two quarterbacks, have games that are single point margin between the two, yet somehow Washington is favored by 4.5.
Right.
So I like the Giants as is, but I pushed it to 7.5. Right?
Okay. Yeah,
that's my little monstrosity. Right.
I think it's a close game. If you're going to make me make a money line play, I would take the Commanders.
It's fine
because I think they win the game, but I think it's close.
Yeah, Ron Rivera at home, you never know. You never know with that guy.
Very
I have one more. I was I was
very conservative.
One more I was looking at. I think I mentioned this on Wednesday. The Bengals -3.5 going up against the Bucs. I love them in this spot. And I just don't understand why everyone is still sleeping on that offense, seeing that they made that Cinderella Super Bowl run last year.
Yeah.
Right. I mean, they're coming back. They're getting everybody healthy again. Joe Mixon is looking like that #1 running back that they've expected him to be. Jamar Chase is back. It doesn't even matter that he has a hairline fracture in his hip because Joe Burrow is just that good of a quarterback now. I think they're going to come out and absolutely dominate the Buccaneers. I don't care about the whole Tom Brady, he's at home, that type of thing. 3.5 is too little of points for me. I'm covering. I think they're going to cover that one all day.
Yeah, I think their defensive front is going to control the game too.
That's a great point.
I mean, everybody looks at the offense. They got a pretty darn good defensive line.
Yeah.
and that offensive line for Tampa is still in shambles. I mean, they don't have Jansen. They don't have Wirfs. They're a train wreck right now. So I love the Bengals -3.5.
Something to think about, and it's one time I moved away from the Brady thing, and you get back to it, right? Somebody said streaks last forever, but you only break one once, right? Meaning like you ride the streak forever, you only go back on it once. Point being is that this whole thing with FTX, that kid got arrested.
Yeah.
Now, as he continues to be prosecuted, it would not surprise me if you start to see class act. Not that those are going to do anything, but just, class action suits against Kevin O'Leary and Tom Brady and other celebrities who are like Brady's I'm telling you, he's already going through the worst year of his life right now. You add something like this
off
on
the
here.
Field.
Yeah. All right. Anything else in the world of football here?
Buffalo.
Huh?
Buffalo -7.
You're taking Buffalo?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Mike McDaniel's shirt, it didn't appeal to you?
No.
Did you see his shirt? It's not cold enough.
They're gonna get frostbite by the second quarter up there.
Yeah, it's hard to
taking Buffalo.
Hard to argue with that, my friend.
Yeah. I stayed away from it with all these snow, like blizzard, warnings and everything like that. I was looking maybe at a second half total under for that scenario. I'm hearing that if the snow is going to come, it's going to come all in the second half of the game. So maybe that, but otherwise, I'm sticking away from that one. You're brave.
You're going to see why he's the perfect quarterback for that team in that weather. in the set. That kid, I'm telling you, he's indestructible, and he's got a strong ass arm.
It's hard to, especially after last week with that stupid backdoor cover for the Jets. I'm with you. All right, college football. Anything you want to add that we didn't talk about yet? I have these 4 player props I want to get out here for tonight, but anything you want to add by any means?
Yeah, this Louisville-Cincinnati game at Fenway Park is very interesting to me because of the coaching situation. Both coaches are out, okay? Fickle went from Cincinnati to Wisconsin, but Satterfield went from Louisville to Cincinnati. Satterfield. Yeah, Satterfield. He's now with Cincinnati. Now, he's not going to be on the sideline coaching, but if he's already been there for a couple of days, couple of weeks. If you don't think there's inside information being dealt from one side to the other, you're crazy. I think Cincinnati has the better roster than Louisville. You're getting a point. It's +1. It went from +2 down to +1. I'm taking Cincinnati. Jeff Brom is the new coach at Louisville. He's coming from Purdue. And this is a situation, because I've dealt with this covering a team where when you have the coaching changes, the assistants are all scrambling to try to find a job. They don't know whether they're going with the guy to their new destination or nothing. And you don't even know who's coaching these guys. You could have grad assistants doing all the coaching lead up because the assistants are interviewing all across the country to get jobs. This is a mess. I'm taking Cincinnati because I think they're the better team, and you're getting a point on the road in a low scoring game.
Oh, it's fantastic. I love it, man.
Could I even interest you in the +100 money line in that case, if it's just a point?
Okay.
For the value
you never know, right? In a bowl game scenario like this.
Yeah. Oregon State is laying 10 in Las Vegas to Florida. AR-15. You do. AR-15 is out. He's going to the pros.
I know, but
so you're going to get a whole lot of Jalen Kitna in this game.
I thought Kitna's in trouble with the kid porn stuff.
Well, that could be too. Then you're down to a third stringer.
Yeah, that's why it's so high. Yeah.
The Beavers are 9-3 straight up and 10-2 against the number in their last 12 games. They're going to be motivated.
Yeah, I get that. I feel like something like that is built. Don't you think that's built into this spread that Oregon State is red hot ATS and they knew that AR is out?
And Florida's not going to have any interest.
I don't know, 10 points is a lot.
No, I like the under too, 53.
Okay, I'm
Can you ride with me on that?
Yeah, absolutely.
All right. Okay. Las Vegas this time of year is cold.
You're right.
It's generally in the 40s. There's a lot of wind at that, or unless they're playing it indoors. Maybe they're playing it at the new stadium, but they used to play this at the UNLV stadium, and it's out in the desert, and the wind blows like crazy.
Yep, you're right.
But I don't know. I got to check into that. That's
no dome, right?
They might. Maybe they're playing it inside the new stadium. That could be.
That's fine, but I still like the under in the game. I think you're there. Okay.
I like the angle. I almost feel like Florida might be somewhat checked out, knowing that their quarterback, who probably shouldn't be declaring for the draft just yet, is kind of bailing out on them. So I feel like I like that angle of more like a humanitarian type of point that Oregon's, they're rolling in every aspect, and Florida could be checked out, being that they don't really feel that they have that much of a shot. So I think I like the 10.5 as well.
Yeah, I think they're checked out for sure.
Yeah, I agree.
No, it's in the dome, it looks like.
Okay.
Yeah, it looks like it's indoors, so forget about the wind.
Awesome. Let me hit you with these real quick here. Trust me, I've worked these against the same guy whose projections have been on fire for college basketball. So I'm just a facilitator. I'm just doing the work for you. Let's start with Kamani Vidal, right? The running back for Troy. That number should still be somewhere around 105 and a half. It was at 78 and it was off and people slammed it. He'll probably get like $120 today. So feel confident in going over that. Troy's running back, 105 and a half rushing yards. They run a lot, and he's a big part of it. All right, we'll go to Mr. Harris here now. Frank Harris, the quarterback for UTSA. These guys like to throw, but the number just a little too high. We're going to go under 287 and a half passing yards, have him projected somewhere in that 255 range. So that's a wide enough gap to go under Harris, 287 and a half passing yards. Then we go to UAB, and find our pal, our friend, Redshirt Junior, Dylan Hopkins. This is way too low. We're going to go over 172 passing yards for UAB's quarterback. Last, and I saved him just for Harry here, Mac. You know Mac's last name for Miami of Ohio, the wide receiver?
I do not.
Hippenhammer.
Hippenhammer.
Mac Hippenhammer.
You got to go over on a Hippenhammer.
And
right?
we're going under.
Oh, under.
66.5 receiving yards for Mac Hippenhammer. Absolutely. Chalk him up. That's all I got. All right.
Fantastic.
We'll see you Monday. Anything you want to hit on the way out?
I'll drop an NBA play
ahead.
real quick. So one thing that I was looking at today, Tyrese Halliburton over 31.5 total points, rebounds, and assists against the Cavaliers tonight. The Cavaliers give up the most amount of points in total to point guards and shooting guards in the NBA. They are number one, last defensive ranking for their backcourt, which makes sense. Donovan Mitchell, Darius Garland, not known for their defensive prowess. Tyrese Halliburton in his last game, this was the first kind of big stinker that we've seen from him so far this season, in which he dropped 4, 3, and 1, I believe. So I'm expecting a big bounce back game tonight against the Cavaliers in kind of a high-paced, big energy type of matchup. And I think he's going to take that matchup against Donovan Mitchell somewhat seriously, because these two are competing for all-star spots at this point. And I think 31.5 is a pretty good number. I think he could get that in points alone tonight.
Awesome.
Yep,
Appreciate
that's all I
you
got.
all. At Matt Cherico with the 0 at the end. At Harry Mays TU. At Shander Show for me. And we'll see you on Monday. We're going to have Walter football next week. We'll have Ben Raza from Odd Shopper. We'll have a bunch of different people coming in from college football. We should get the PGF back on here at some point, right? Busy.
He's been on a Twitter storm the last couple of days.
Oh, I can't wait.
Politics.
I can't wait.
Oh, man.
I can't wait. All right. Y'all have a great week.